Have you ever sat in a crowded room and felt like simply being there was already too much? In the same environment, another child laughs freely, interrupts, and occupies space without a second thought. One body naturally expands into the environment, while the other instinctively folds inward to disappear. This physical shrinking is a learned response, a behavioral program written by the environment to manage a perceived risk. The child who hides learned early on that drawing attention to themselves carried an unacceptable emotional cost. The programming often begins with a micro-rejection. A child reaches out to speak, and an overwhelmed adult responds with a heavy, exhausted sigh. In that moment, the developing brain formulates a specific equation. The first variable is logged. Having a need creates pressure on the caregiver. The brain calculates the consequence. Pressure causes frustration, leading to emotional disconnection. The logic resolves into a permanent rule. Every bid for attention has a cost, a debt the child cannot afford. To survive, they become perfectly quiet, helpful, and strictly low maintenance. Being easy to manage is the most effective strategy they have to maintain emotional safety. As the body grows into adolescence, the underlying survival code receives an update to handle the complexities of social life. This manifests as a chronic, silent hesitation. A teenager starts to speak, pauses to aggressively edit their own words, and eventually decides it's safer to say nothing. This system of hypervigilance acts as a constant scan, sweeping over social interactions to detect if they overwhelm others. The brain logs a friend's tone, calculates conversation timing, and monitors subtle physical reactions to ensure they aren't taking up too much space. The primary symptom of this phase is over-apologizing, saying, "I'm sorry," before a mistake has even been made. This constant adjusting is a sophisticated method of disappearing, ensuring the teen never becomes a burden to their peers. In adulthood, the workplace and intimate relationships become the new testing grounds where this defense mechanism reaches full automation. The childhood fear of being a burden now masquerades as fierce, unyielding independence. These adults refuse help, claim to have no needs, and silently take on the heaviest workloads to avoid being a trouble to anyone. While they appear self-reliant to the outside world, they are profoundly overwhelmed by the weight of carrying everything alone. This independence is a trap. The brain is still strictly executing the code that having needs will inevitably push people away. There is a moment when the exhaustion forces a stop. This sense of being a burden is a childhood adaptation. This is a piece of code that hasn't stopped running. This strategy created an intense awareness of other people's needs, while keeping you detached from your own. It kept you safe. Your adult independence is the echo, the reverberation of a 7-year-old child's silence, still bouncing off the walls of your current life. The question is no longer, why am I a burden? What exactly did you experience that made taking up space feel so dangerous? Healing starts now, in subtle moments, by taking a risk. Voicing a simple need in a safe environment is communication. You don't have to explain your story, but if this pattern connected with you, you can simply acknowledge that it felt familiar. Behavior is a form of communication. It doesn't disappear, it evolves.